let's talk about relationships on this one. I know a lot of times whenever I get into conversations with people, whether you're looking for a relationship or you're in a relationship, it seems to have a pattern that keeps happening. So with this pattern, there's always a very long list of requirements or expectations you have for somebody, but then we don't really get into our own expectations or standards for ourselves that would match what our list is. So for example, I see very often we end up settling for what our initial request or our initial idea for standards are for our Prince Charming. You know the Prince Charming that we're talking about, the guy that you want your man to be like. You want him to be a protector and be able to give you safety and security. You want him to be a provider and not a loser. We don't want no scrubs. I want somebody who's going to look after me. I need somebody to be patient because I got to work through some stuff. So I need him patient and calm. I need him sensitive. I can't have him be always aggressive. I need him to be understanding. And sometimes we're watching a movie, one single tear in a sad part is acceptable. Can't have him bawling though, but he has to be able to have his simple tear. We need him strong and badass and confident, but also handy. I want him to fix the stuff when it gets broken, but also be a good listener and ask me about my day. I want him to be so smart and so loving and be a family man. And loyalty, of course, is important to me. So I want him loyal and generous. I want him to be giving and always helping everybody and be a leader. I want him to stand up and take control of things and know where he's going. And I want him to have dreams and be ambitious. I want this amazing guy. I want him to be handsome. He doesn't have to be a 10, but at least take care of yourself, because that means you take pride in the things around you. And what I'm getting at is that this list goes on and on and on of what a guy is supposed to be. Here's what I want my guy to be. And very rarely do I see anybody go, all right, if this dude met me and wanted to hang out with me, if this Prince Charming, this perfect guy with all these requirements, what would he be asking from me? What would my resume look like for this person that I made up that has to have 100 things that they qualify for to be good enough for me? But what happens if I met this guy? What would I do for him? Would I be complicating his life or would I be complimenting it? And what would that look like? And so what are you have a laundry list of his things. What's your thing looks like? And that's where taking inventory gets into. What is my things? And so I see whether you're not in a relationship or you're already in a relationship, there's a thing that happened where there's something in common. And I see where people sacrifice the having things in common, maybe sometimes just not to be alone, or I like how he has a couple of those traits that I like, not all of them, but I'll settle in for what I've got here, just because he's cool. So we'll see if we can maybe add a couple of those things in. How often do we see people say, I'm going to make it better. I'm going to help. I'm going to fix them. I'm going to fix them up. And it's so often a uphill climb, like an ice skating uphill, because you try to change somebody to fit what your list is, instead of being able to grow with somebody or have them grow with you. Now here's a big thing that's very important. If you want somebody who has similar interests, have interests. And I'll be very clear on this part. If you have things that you love to do, if you have things that you are passionate about, if you have things that you value doing, and I don't care what your thing is, I don't care if it's from playing Dungeons and Dragons to paint night with your wine and paint, I don't care if it's going hiking, I don't care if it's the bike group, I don't care if it's CrossFit, I don't care what you do. You choose something you just love to do. And it's not up to me to choose that. This is inside of you. But if you don't have a passion or a skill or something that you choose to develop, if you're not training yourself in any direction, how would you ever find somebody who's also passionate about things that you're passionate about? Now, this doesn't always mean everything has to be perfect, but at least have some things that you have together. And so instead of saying I'm going to go on this dating site and find a guy who matches all my things, but you have nothing in common still, maybe just find some stuff that brings you true fulfillment. What is the thing that actually makes you happy to do it? And the difference between things you like and a passion are different. And so I'll give you an example. People will be like, what do you like to do? I like to travel. What about it? Seeing things doesn't make you a unique individual. I've seen things that are nice. Well, what about you is special then? I look at things. Maybe find a thing you like. Like find something that's your thing. I play an instrument, or I write this thing, or I'm working on this project, or I work at this skill, or I work with kids, or I do it. Like, I don't care what it is, but a passion is something you can talk about for 10 hours until people go, okay, I've had enough of I get it. You like plants. I understand. Like, everybody's got a thing. But if you find that you're missing your thing, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what my thing I love to do is. What are the odds of somebody loving to do the same thing that you love to do? If you don't have one, have a thing. If you are working on you and you find what your happiness is for you, when you find this Prince Charming, he matches your stuff. You guys are now working together on things you love to do, or they can support you in something that you like being supported in, something that you love. But if you come to the dynamic only looking to go, whatever you got, that's what I'm gonna do, Prince Charming is gonna say, you're not really adding to what I'm doing. You're kind of taking away from what I do, and now you become weight that I carry instead of somebody who hunts with me. Which brings me to my point, my main point for all of it. And Tony Robbins even says this: happiness is in progress. Progress is where you find your happiness. I don't care what it is. If you're doing something that propels you forward, that's the point that you find you're the happiest. Now think about this for a second, because we get so caught, we get so distracted by our distractions that we forget to progress. Oh, but I got to do this thing for the bills, or oh, work had me bring up this thing I got to do, or oh, I got sick and so I'm not able to do this, or oh, I got this thing that came up, or oh, there was a family thing that happened and so I'm not able to. The distractions are the thing that start messing you up from progress. And then when you start taking your abilities away from the thing that you're truly passionate about, when you stop taking the time for yourself to go, I'm still moving toward a specific goal, well, then you start getting stuck. And I know that all of us have had that point where you go, oh shit, I've been in this same spot for a very long time. In fact, I've moved backwards. What am I doing? And it's a wake-up moment sometimes to why we practice so often raising our level of awareness. Can you catch yourself in your moments where you're distracted and go, I'm losing sight of my purpose, or I'm losing sight of my passion, or I'm not doing something that I like to do. I'm not doing the things that make me feel good or feel happy. And if you're not doing those things, how would anybody ever support you in the thing that makes you happy if you're not doing it? There's a thing that happens now when you're in a relationship, and these are the people who are married or people who are in dynamics for a long time. There's a thing that happens too with these distractions, whether it be created by you or whether it be, he has his own things and started getting sidetracked from what his goals and his purposes are. It could be like, hey, I need you to also do this, take out the garbage and do the laundry and make sure you do this and get the kids and take them to school and make sure they practice and be the coach and do this thing and do this thing and do this thing. And then the guy that you fell in love with, who had ambition and drive and would do anything to be able to take care of the things and move our family forward, he's a leader and I love him for it, is now doing all the errands, which starts creating a whole new problem. You start resenting that this guy's not doing the thing that you loved him for. You start going like, well, you haven't really been doing anything. You go and do the chores and then you go and watch your show. And like, well, And they start getting frustrated because they don't even know what they're doing anymore. They just thought they were trying to make you happy, which made you unhappy, and it's an endless cycle of you two working against each other. Now, I know a few of you at least can relate to this because you've been in relationships long enough where you go, nope, yeah, the spark gets messed up. And something that even Andrea and I talk about is that we understand that we have cannons that we're attacking in a direction. We are attacking in a direction. But very easily, we could end up messing up and turning those on each other, and now it turns into a battle versus instead of a battle together doing a thing. Now, when you guys meet each other, there's a purpose. There's a goal you're working on. Let's make an awesome family. Let's go ahead and work on this project together to achieve something. There's something where you feel progress, you feel happiness. There's something where you do something together. I don't care if you're in a bike riding group, I don't care what the thing is. There's a thing you do together. And at some point it starts getting fuzzy or the priorities get messed up. And then it stops being so productive. And then somebody turns their cannon over to the other person and they're like, wait, what? And the other person's cannon is turned the other way. And so now we're not aiming at anything. And if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. And that's kind of what starts happening, is nobody's taking direction anymore. Or even, not all of you ladies, but a few of the people who've been coaching have been emasculating their guy to say, you can't make that call. Stop doing that. No, the kids, I don't like your way you're doing things with the kids. You start knocking your guy down. Well, he's not your leader anymore. He's not taking the family in a direction. You don't follow him and trust what his best interest for you is at heart. These are things that if you heard somebody saying them, you would know the answer. But when it's you don't realize that's what you're doing. There has to be that level of awareness that we practice where you go, oh, damn, I just knocked my dude down. Or, oh man, I hurt my guy today. I didn't even realize when I said I just didn't want him to do that. And we justify. We've talked about justifications. The excuse that we use to make something we know wasn't really that cool okay in our heads. It's dangerous tools that we play with on this because without progress, you start losing happiness. And that's something that if you're in a dynamic or looking for a dynamic, you should be progressing for yourself on a thing that you love to do, but then having a thing that you guys are both aiming in a direction for too. And the moments where you're having progress and you are moving forward is the moments you're just fucking happy. But if you're missing the thing that makes you happy and you're waiting for somebody else to fulfill it for you, if you're waiting for somebody to fill in all of your missing pieces, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Because if you don't know what it is, how the hell is somebody else going to know what it is? So what part about this is the choice? Everything is choices. Everything is choices. If we're going to unlock the potential that you guys saw in each other or the potential in the future person you're going to be with, if you're going to be able to unlock the potential of why you love somebody, you have to be able to understand your expectations to standards and your goals and progress. Your expectations are the things that you want them to be. That's the Prince Charming list. Prince Charming needs to be all these things. It's my expectation. He needs to be all these amazing things. But how does that compare up to your standards? Because do your standards match what your expectations are? Do you match what you're asking for? And if you start looking at my standards for myself are very low, but my expectations are very high, maybe if I just cross off some of my expectations, I'll sacrifice some of the things that Prince Charming can be, and I'll settle. I can just settle then. Instead of me improving, I'm just going to make it so I'll settle for a worse guy. And then how many of you girls have been with kind of a shitty dude before ever? That wasn't a good guy. Somebody didn't appreciate you correctly, or somebody who didn't have your best interest at heart or was very selfish. We've seen them. We've seen the relationships. And sometimes it's a school of hard knocks for what this is. Sometimes it's tough, but being able to understand that you don't have to sacrifice what you want just raise the level of who you are. And that's the controllable. Do something you love, and you'll find people that also do what you love. That's too simple. It sounds too simple, right? It can't be that easy. Do stuff you love. Well, I don't know what I love. I don't know what to do. Then just go do some shit. Just go do stuff. You'll learn very quickly you really love it or you hate it. Like, you'll learn by how you feel afterwards. But the more stuff you do, the more you get to identify who you are. And that's part of this crazy journey, because a purpose together is a beautiful thing. But like some of you who are training with and some of the people who are going through their own journeys, you realize that the purpose of finding yourself is a very profound and powerful thing. And progress is where we feel the most happiness. So check what the expectations are versus what your standards for yourself are. Make sure they match up. And if not, don't lower your standards, just raise the standards for yourself up. Start doing things to make it so you match what you want. Be as good as the guy that your list of your Prince Charming matches up, so that when he meets you, you bring more complementing to his life versus complications to his life, and vice versa. You guys need to be working together as a team, and it's the most fulfillment that we found, period. When you both know each other's stuff and you know that we're fighting together. I'm a lion hunting and you're a lioness hunting, and we're both gonna flank this gazelle. We are powerful. But if I'm gonna go catch that gazelle and I get bit in the ass by you, I'm like, what are you doing? And the gazelle runs away and it's all my fault. Why? Because I screamed because you bit me? Oh, well, great. You know, like, it's these crazy fights that happen when we lose focus that we're both hunting together. And that's when we're strongest. So think of the progress, think of your goals, think of your standards, think of the expectations that you have for yourself, and which part are choices. You can sacrifice what you want and have a worse guy, or raise your level of yourself and enjoy life just a bit more because you're doing passionate things, you're doing things you love to do, and stuff that you think about when you're at work. I can't wait to get off of work to go do this thing. That's a passion. Not like, I like to go jet skiing once a year. Listen, everyone likes a wave runner. That's fine. But it's not your passion. Your passion is the thing you just can't wait to do later. I can't wait to get up and go do this thing, or we're gonna go hiking and the views blow my mind, and I can't wait to go do this activity. There's a group of us that do this. So I don't care if it's roller skating, or I don't care if it's anything. You find something. Find a thing that you just love to do, and you'll find people that love to do it too. There's a little bit to soak in there, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. So if you weren't on tonight's training, I want you to send me some messages on your opinions on this, because I love the back and forth on this. This can easily be controversial, and I can't wait to hear your moments of where you believe your choices should be or shouldn't be, or even your opinion on the topic in general. So if you haven't gotten a chance to jump on the Tuesdays, stop missing Tuesdays, because right now what's going to happen is I'm going to talk to the amazing people who are on right now. And if you're not on, you're missing all the good stuff on how we apply these conversations. So have a great night, and I'll see you guys in a week. All right.